speaking of Kurt Sutter thought, can I talk about the Bureau of Prisons?
Oh yes. Let's. This is a perfect transition into this story. You can introduce it. I have the actual PDF of the report. You introduce it. I'll give you the details of it.
I'll give some background. So this is from Jed Budd. She was a former Border Patrol agent who became a whistleblower. So if you remember those uniformed agents without any identifying badges or anything, no ID, who cleared out that park so Trump could walk to the church, who have been all over DC.
Under the explicit orders of William Barr, the Attorney General.
Specifically William Barr. So people found out their Bureau of Prison SWAT teams. And what is a Bureau of Prison SWAT team? It's like, for a federal prison, it's like the SWAT team. And what do you think a SWAT team for a prison would be like? Would it be like guys who are too fat and incompetent to be tier 1 operators but want that branding? And you would be right. Let's get into it.
Okay. So apparently, this is from the Office of the Inspector General. At one of the prisons that set this SWAT team, they did like a sort of mock training exercise in which other employees of the prison had to as part of an exercise, barricaded themselves in a room or something, and it was like this sort of mock exercise that, wouldn't you know it, the SWAT team took way too fucking seriously. I'm reading here under, this is the official Office of the Inspector General report under the subhead, The Issue. It says here, the OIG identified concerns in connection with 2 SWAT mock exercises last year in which BOP staff members sustained injuries. During the first SWAT mock exercise, the SWAT deployed 2 flashbang-type munitions to enter the location of the exercise. Again, this is just like a rehearsal where you're supposed to pretend to something, and they threw flashbang grenades into a fucking room filled with other prison employees who were just like, oh no, this is just a game. We're pretending. This isn't fucking real. The second munition hit a staff member role player and detonated, causing significant injury, requiring surgery and ongoing treatment for that staff member. The BOP subsequently determined that the particular flashbang deployed during the exercise was not an authorized distraction device munition listed in the manual. Accordingly, the BOP has now issued guidance prohibiting the use of this device. Okay, in connection with the second SWAT mock exercise, BOPD administrative staff members who were allegedly not involved in the exercise secured themselves in a business office shortly after the exercise began. These uninvolved staff members included employees on restricted duty due to medical conditions. During the exercise, SWAT members allegedly demanded the door to the room where the uninvolved staff were located to be open, attempted to breach the room using a crowbar, sprayed OC, which is an aerosolized capsaicin, it's pepper spray, into the room without obtaining authorization, entered the room and fired a simunition round that struck a staff member in the chest. In addition, there allegedly was a physical altercation, including pushing and shoving between SWAT members and the uninvolved staff members. Some of these events allegedly occurred after the uninvolved staff members allegedly yelled that they were out of role and allegedly informed SWAT that staff members in the room had medical conditions.
Oh, this is the greatest story ever told. Just like getting my own flashbang from out of work premises, like bringing my own that I made at home with my brother-in-law, bringing it to work and throwing it at a fucking diabetic bureaucrat piece of shit. Open up, bitch! Just fucking rolling, kicking in the bathroom, and just pistol whipping somebody with an MP5 while they're kicking his shit.
It rules. What if you made a SWAT team out of exclusively Seth Rogen from Observe and Report?
Yes.
I just thought,
so awesome.
I think you had the thought, but just the idea of them it's just the other people who's have a heart condition and they're infirm or hiding in the office lunchroom again to protect themselves from a fake mock exercise, and then the SWAT team kicking in the door and they do a breach, and instead of going single file into the room to clear it, they all try to go through the door at the same time and get stuck like the Three Stooges.
And then they just start pepper spraying each other to get out.
It's so fun. There's just some a room full of just guys whose body is 50% polo shirt, just these sentient guts in the other room who are Yeah. So how can we increase production of masks at prisons? Like, just soulless, awful, like, Bureau of Prisons people, just pieces of shit. Just the scum that fills up most of Maryland. They're just sitting around talking about, like, the new girl on Criminal Minds is kind of a looker. And then just, like, you hear outside the hallway, y'all ready for this? The guy who's all sleeve tattoos comes in and beats the shit out of them, just demolishing them with the butt of an M4 SOP mod. There's so many attachments on it can't fucking fire. Trying to drop shot and slide tackle like he's in Call of Duty. This is so cool. This owns.
Doing John Woo style somersaults into the room, but getting stuck halfway.
Kicking some Silver Spriggs fucking grilling dad's arm into a vending machine. He has the Tab logo permanently imprinted on his forearm. This fucking owns.
Well,
dude.
yeah, that story is fucking hilarious, but it is not the only one. And I guess like another theme for this week have been cops all over the country have been shitting out their doo-doo asses and then bragging to everyone about it in some bid for sympathy. Like right here in New York, there was, of course, the Shake Shack incident happened this week, where 3 NYPD officers got a little treat at one of New York's one of our famous Shake Shack locations, and then had horrible diarrhea. They were just pissing out of their asses, and then immediately like the Sergeant's Benevolence administration, one of these like the SBA or one of these like pseudo cop advocacy groups just immediately issued a press release being like, our officers are being poisoned by Shake Shack. They're having diarrhea. They can't stop shitting. This is an attack on our officers. And they put bleach in the fucking milkshakes or something. But like they had a tummy ache. The cops had a tummy ache, and then of course it turned out that no such thing actually happened, and they weren't poisoned. And then of course the Egg McMuffin lady, that was a gem. Just a woman sitting in her car and crying because like a drive-through fucked up her order. And what was so incredible,
that woman's not even a cop.
Yeah, no, yeah, she, apparently, yeah. No, was she just dressed as a cop? I know, like the Richmond Police Department says she doesn't work for them, but is she part of another law enforcement agency, or is she just literally a woman who dresses up as a cop for clout on a forward-facing camera car video?
I think she's the most important type of American, the type of American we should protect. A pure crank. But
what I loved about the Egg McMuffin lady, though, is like it was just basically like they took too long to make her order, and then she just like. At no point did she ever say that her food was like, fucked with in any way, like with cum or piss or shit or poison or whatever. It was just she thought that they might be doing that and started crying, thinking about what might happen to her fast food order.
Well, I mean, it's about to, because this has always been true that cops are always at risk of especially a fast food employee fucking with their food. I mean, that is the small price you pay for getting to kill anyone you want. Is that a fucking minimum wage employee might sprinkle some pubes on your McDouble. But now they kind of can't stop thinking. They've usually been able to keep it at the back of their head and still enjoy their food. But now they can't even. They're just, it's too there. It's like they're definitely putting pubes on my burger. And it's like, yes, they are. They absolutely are. Stop being a cop. If you want your burger to not be contaminated, don't swagger in there in your fucking Kevlar vest, looking like a fucking murderous Michelin man.
It's like Nicky Santoro's brother in Casino, where he just like cocks a loogie, right? And that's a piece of shit.
At least until recently, they edited that part out of TV versions of Casino.
That is the most offensive thing in Casino. Yeah,
he snorts and just gobs a fucking lung into like their Italian sub, and then he just like he wraps it up and then like hands it to the LVPD, and he goes, "Hey, there you go, boys. Enjoy your sandwiches. Have a good night, you piece of shit." You motherfucker.
I love that's my favorite Scorsese movie. I like it better than Goodfellas by a little bit.
Same.
But it's like one of the most sordid, like depressing movies. Like everyone in it is just purely awful.
Yeah.
But the idea that that's like the thing that can't be on TV, like
you can't give people the idea who like maybe who work at a restaurant. Hey, you could do that.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, you absolutely can. They'll never know.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the thing, though. the Shake Shack diarrhea incident is really just a new entry in what is a long line of, for quite some time now, a kind of a cold to getting warmer war happening between cops and service employees in the fast food industry. Because, like, other than the people that they kill, I would say cops, most of their interactions with civilians are like the people that they're ordering like a spicy chicken sandwich from. And the service employees are really kind of on the front lines in a lot of ways of dealing with the fucking police. And now it's like police is like, their persecution complex is so intense that it's just like, I think it's like they know how shitty they are. And they know that, like, if I was a civilian, I would hate cops too. So their biggest fear is just a world where people are just beginning to publicly acknowledge that no one likes them.
Yes.
So like they're fearing this imaginary retribution that they know that they would do to themselves if they had to deal with them every fucking day. So they're just imagining, again, everyone is trying to poison their fucking milkshakes. And so our good friend of the show, Libby Watson, actually wrote up a very good summary of the cops versus fast food employees conflict that is simmering throughout the nation here for the New Republic. And I just want to read a little bit from it because it is a very good summary. So she writes here, in a since-deleted tweet, the NYC Police Benevolent Association claimed that bleach had been placed in the officers' milky treats and went on to decry how far society has fallen. When NYC police officers cannot even take a meal without coming under attack, it is clear that environment in which we work has deteriorated to a critical level. The Detectives Endowment Association, meanwhile, issued an urgent safety message complete with siren emojis, warning that 3 of our brothers in blue were intentionally poisoned at the burger joint, and that police are under attack by vicious criminals who dislike us simply because of the uniform we wear. The unions later had to walk back these statements when an investigation revealed that the presence of cleaning fluid in the milkshakes was an innocent mistake, though not before Shake Shack issued a statement saying it was horrified by the report of injured officers. But this, again, like, there's a long litany of these types of things. Libby continues. Last year, a police officer in Kansas resigned after writing "fucking pig" on his own McDonald's cup and sending it to his police chief, who posted it on Facebook as an example of the horrifying cop bias spreading throughout the nation. This next one is my absolute personal favorite. In July 2019, a cop accused a McDonald's employee of taking a bite out of his McChicken as an anti-cop statement. He later admitted he, quote, forgot that he had already taken a couple of sneaky pre-bites before putting it away for later.
Oh my! That one, I think I've seen that one before in my brain. Like, I couldn't accept it.
Someone has tactically intervened with my sandwich.
Officer down. There's been a kinetic intrusion into my chicken style scenario.
I just love the idea of like just like having like a furtive little nibble of your sandwich and then just like wrapping it up. I'll save that for later.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than a fast food. There's nothing better than a fast food. There's nothing better than a fast food sandwich that you take one bite out of and you're like, oh, this will be better later.
Oh God, it's so McDonald's. It's so good in the microwave. Oh yeah, or cold even. Honestly, cold McDonald's is better sometimes.
Fast food chicken should always be dry aged in a car.
Oh, okay. This next one is really good too. In 2017, a police officer complained of feeling strange or ill after sipping a drink from Subway and performed an ion scanner test to screen for meth, which came back positive. The 18-year-old employee on duty was arrested. It later turned out the test result was wrong and the kid was innocent, but not before a local media segment on the allegation had aired. Again, I love it. All these fucking guys do is they sit in a car for like 8 hours a day and eat fast food. And then like they, we well know, thanks to our friend and co-host, what Subway does to a tummy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like has Virgil being dosed with meth all these years at his local Subway? I mean, honestly, probably. But
Virgil should do videos like this where he's claiming to constantly be poisoned. I mean, the fact that he doesn't shows that he's still a better person than a cop. Like, he's constantly having diarrhea and constantly eating fast food. And, he hasn't done a video saying that he's being targeted.
I mean, at a certain point, it's like, you gotta pick your battles. And if you're gonna go into fast food restaurants, literally in the uniform of state oppression, basically wearing a giant sandwich board that says "I am an asshole who can murder you," and then have people who work at jobs where if they got fired, it's probably not the end of the world, at least some of them, because it's a minimum wage gig that they could probably get another one of, and maybe they don't have that much to lose. You're going to get some jizz in your fucking food. You're going to get some pubes. You're going to get some spit because you're wearing the fucking sandwich board that says you're a murdering asshole.
Yeah,
don't do that.
Yeah, everyone who works at that place, like, chances are, like, someone wearing your outfit fucking ruined their lives.
Yes, absolutely.
Or killed them. Like, very high chance. Like, you don't, yeah.
And
like
here's a chance to get revenge without them ever knowing. Oh, God, who would ever not want to do that?
The false claims are interesting, though, because, Matt, I remember something you said about a lot of the zombie craze was this internalized guilt by white suburbanites who know that their ill-gotten gains to the world aren't right and know that they deserve to have it taken from them, and they're fantasizing about the day where they fight off those taking it back from them, who they generalize as like non-white zombies.
Yeah.
I think this is sort of a similar thing where it's like, this is like Macbeth's jizzy burger.
Yes, yeah.
Where, like, they're constantly cleaning the imaginary jizz out of the burger because, yeah, like Will said, they know they deserve it. That's the very least they have coming to them.
But also, I mean, like, the through line there is fucking dumb, fat fucking cops who, like I said, they sit in a car most of the day in their job and only eat fast food. And they're like, "Oh, my digestive system feels ill. Oh, I feel icky. My tummy hurts." It's not just because I've been, I just drank a gallon of ice cream and milk, or I only eat slop and shit from a drive-in. Like, oh, my tummy hurts. It must be because someone put fentanyl in it, or fucking is trying to poison me because I'm a fucking cop. But like, also like the McMuffin lady. One of the most common universal experiences is having a drive-through or fast food place fuck up your order in some way. Not a big deal. It happens to everyone. But like to elevate that to the level of fucking just this Baroque fantasy of fucking victimization that these people indulge in is just, it's so bitch made. It is so fucking funny how the regard with which these cops hold themselves in. And I think they do it because they know that their job isn't very dangerous or hard.
Oh,
and
yeah.
But they demand, just like they demand to be treated like soldiers coming back from war, which is like, you know how I feel about that in general, but at least they, they came back from a fucking war. Whereas like I said, most of these cops are just eating fast food all day.
It is like, that is the thing. Like them having indigestion. I mean, like, I can't imagine how you get indigestion. Yeah. Eating Arby's for 4 meals a day and doing Anabar. I don't know.
Well, let's not forget that a lot of these guys aren't even gaslighting themselves. They're just lying.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like that's also a huge part of it. Like, hey, I would like to get some attention, please. Somebody did this to me. Or, oh no, I shit my pants because I'm drunk off my ass at fucking work. They poisoned me.
Okay.
Because cops love lying about things. It's their favorite thing to do.
And here's another thread to this, like the poisoned milkshakes. Earlier this week, the NYPD they tweeted out some they tweeted out photos of what they described as buckets of concrete disguised as ice cream that have been strategically placed by protesters to be like picked up and hurled at them. And then like apparently the photos that they shared on their social media were obviously like concrete sample mixes. And then like people pointed out why would ice cream containers have a caution hot warning on like the little container? Continuing, Columbus, Ohio police tweeted a picture of a scary Antifa bus, which they claim was full of riot equipment like clubs. The bus turned out to belong to traveling street performers, and the clubs were juggling clubs. I mean, Matt, Felix, we'll keep it between us, but I think we know who's responsible for the clubs, for the juggling clubs.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
The scourge, the scourge of police everywhere.
Tell your sons this.
But what I was saying is like, okay, like the poison milkshake, the concrete disguised as ice cream, like milkshaking. There really does seem to be a through line in these reactionary like mythologies of imagined, totally fabricated persecution and milkshakes. Remember that Andy Go asshole who was like, "Oh, I got brain damage because some concrete milkshake was poured on me." Like it seems to me like it's it's like a game of telephone, or someone has like somewhere on Facebook and like where cops talk to each other, or like all these like right wing horseshit out there, like milkshakes have become a thing, and everyone just sort of picks up and runs with like the original story and elaborates it on in some way, where it's like it's the cookie cutter. It's just there's something about these assholes and being afraid of milkshakes that is very strange, because like it doesn't make sense. Like concrete disguised as a milkshake, or using ice cream to hide some like a poison or razor blades or some shit like that. It's just it's all too just so. It just seems obviously like it's a game of telephone, and everyone is elaborating a little bit on a story they heard from someone else, and they're like, "Oh, well, this is the thing that's happening now. Oh, I guess that happened to me."
Well, also there's the fact that the milkshake is, of course, a totem of mid-century American wholesomeness, which has now been taken from us, like much of our patronage, by the mud-blooded hordes, and that we must fight them.